Hi guys, welcome back. This is Matt Chat number 31, covering one of my favorite so bad it's good games, Codemasters' 1988 game, A Rockstar Ate My Hamster.
A rockstar ate my hamster. Rockstar ate my hamster. A rockstar ate my hamster.
A Rockstar Ate My Hamster is not a game you are likely to be familiar with if you are, like me, an American. I don't really know how I ended up with a copy of this game, but I did have a copy for my Commodore 64 in the 80s and in the late 80s and 90s, and I played this game a lot. I really enjoyed it. Why did I enjoy it? I don't know. I'm sort of a strange guy. I've always been drawn to tabloids like the Weekly World News and sort of weird events, and I love Weird Al and Frank Zappa and spoofs in general and parodies and satire, and I think that's one thing that drew me to this game. But also had a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, as we'll see, choosing band members, deciding when to practice, deciding where to gig, cutting an album, coming up with really crazy titles for your songs and your album and your band. You can have a lot of fun with this game. Of course, it's important not to take yourself too seriously. As we'll see, this is it's not a very serious simulation game. There are a lot of random things that can make or break you. So it's probably best not to play to win, but just to play to see what happens and let the story unfold as it will. Try to appreciate the humor. The developer, Colin Jones, had it published by Codemasters, and it was intended as a sort of low-budget release. I guess it was sort of the straight-to-bargain bin type approach. And, you know, the graphics and everything else are not really that stellar, even for the time. However, I would say that the exception there is the music. The Amiga version, the composer Alistair Brimble, very well-known chiptune maestro game music maker, and I really love listening to the music of this game. Hopefully you will too. Okay then, we've got a lot to cover here, so without further ado, let's play A Rockstar Ate My Hamster. I thought I'd start us off here with what I assume to be the original version, the ZX Spectrum. That's a platform that was available in Britain. And as you can see here, these graphics are pretty primitive. The colors bleed, and you know, nothing too remarkable here. It kind of reminds me of a low-budget zine, if you remember those, or art from Cracked or Mad magazine. But we get an introduction to these guys here, Cecil and Clive. They have apparently failed in show business, and now they're putting together a rock band. The first decision you have to make is how many rock stars you want. The manual, which by the way is really interesting too. You should, if you're interested in this game, definitely check out the manual. Suggests that you should play with 4 characters because some of these guys are going to die along the way if you're unlucky. But it's up to you. You can play with one rock star that makes a huge salary, or you can take a lot of low-budget stars and try to do something with them. Now, as you can see here, all of the various rock stars are based on real-life rock and pop stars of the 80s. We have, of course, here Maradonna. Not too hard to figure out who that is. Now, I'm honestly not sure if certain combinations are better than others. I generally just pick some that I listen to in real life, or sometimes just try to go for bizarre combinations. The next thing that you need to do is decide your equipment. Are you going to get new equipment or shoddy equipment? And then you can practice, and this is really cool because the sound, your band sound will evolve as they get better. They don't start off very good at all, though. It's probably advisable to practice as much as you can afford to before you put your guys out there, but you don't want to take too long or you'll, of course, go bankrupt. We can also try to get some publicity, pull a publicity stunt. Sometimes these can backfire, but it's a good way to get your name out there. I thought I'd move us ahead here to the Amiga version, which I think has the best graphics and audio. And I've played the game here for a while, so now I've gotten a call. I got a contract with the recording agency, so now I can cut an album. And this is where I think the game really gets fun. I get to make a lot of choices, the size of the album, basically how much do I want to invest in this thing. And then I get to actually cut some tracks. It's really fun. I can let Clive come up with names for the songs, or I can invent my own. But Clive often is really funny. Again, I have to make sure I have enough money or I'll go bankrupt during the recording. Now when we're done here cutting our album, then we can release a single, and then it's you get a special screen every Sunday that shows the charts and where your band is on the charts. It's definitely my favorite part of the game. It's always exciting to see where you rank. So let's skip ahead and see what that looks like. Now, as you can see, my poor band didn't even place, but the single hasn't even been out but for 1 week, so what do you expect? I will need to promote the album by excessive touring and publicity and a good deal of luck. Luck does play such a huge role in this game, like with publicity. This can backfire on you very easily. Sometimes you get calls from charities, and those can be bogus charities or good charities, and they can have positive or negative effects. There's just a lot of random things that can happen to you in this game. That publicity didn't seem too bad, so let's see how that affected my standing on the charts. Well, not as great as I would have hoped for, but not too bad. Getting to the top of the charts, though, of course, is very difficult. Unfortunately, that chart is about the most interesting thing that happens in the latter half of the game, which is fairly monotonous. You're basically just gigging and practicing and giving gifts and trying to get your singles on the charts. It's definitely not as much fun as the first half. And that's all for this week's Match Chat. Hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, though, I want to announce my new contest. This is for a copy of Vintage Games. It's a wonderful book by the eminent historian, Lola Judas, and co-authored by some guy, Matt Barton. Who knows? Anyway, this book could be yours. How though? Well, I don't really want to hurt you. I don't want to make you cry, but just between you, me, and Bubbles, The answer to this riddle is sprinkled throughout this video, and I'll continue giving you more clues in upcoming episodes. So if you want to win the book, look through this video, see if you can find the codes, write them down. If you're the first person to figure out the secret word and send it to me in a comment or a private message, you will receive your very own signed copy of Vintage Games. Alright, it's been fun. See you guys later. I'm off to my oxygen tank.